Okay, there we are. We're live. I didn't think I got my shiny glasses on. Jen's seen these
Yeah,
before.
the glasses. We're definitely live.
Cool.
These are from
Definitely.
the side stage. Um, Here we are live. Um, the rescheduled fan night that's kind of been going on for a couple months now. Trying to line up fan night. We got some good people on here. People who know the music scene in Winnipeg who have been involved. Another podcaster who's had some people on her show. Really cool. And then we're going to get to know Maddie. I don't know Maddie. I'm glad she's here tonight. She's been highly recommended to come on here. So let's start it off. I'm just going to go around the circle here that I see. We'll start off with Thomas. Just introduce yourselves.
Yeah, I guess I'll go then. I'm Thomas, obviously Thomas Henry. Started started going to shows, I should say, probably in the end of 2015. I think Bright Righteous would have been the first band I saw from Winnipeg. I'm pretty sure, which is a good way to start, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fantastic. But yeah, just been going to shows ever since. Exomerta was the next one I saw after that. Exomerta was at the Oak, I think, 2018.
Yeah.
Saw them at the Oak right when they had just won Battle of the Bands. Whoever won got to play for the Wild, and the Lazies, or got to open, I should say, for them. And yeah, it was a great show.
Excellent. Jen?
Well, my name's Jen Minoz. Hello. I do know most of you. I don't think we've met Maddie, but hello. I don't know. I've been going to shows since I was like 16, maybe 15 actually, because I do remember having a fake ID and just kind of sneaking into places to watch shows. I can't really tell you what my first show was. But yeah, I'm an engineer and a producer here for Studio 23 as well. And I love music. It is my life.
Awesome. Cupcake.
Hello, I'm Cupcake. My real name is Elisa, but yeah, I've been going to shows probably since I was, like 14, 15, West End, Cultural Center, tons of things. Don't remember my first band either. I just remember one of my first shows, and like the guy was screaming so hard that like he was coughing up blood on stage, and like we just thought it was the coolest thing ever. But yeah, so like yeah, lots and lots and lots of shows when I was younger. I also did a podcast recently called Two Baked Girls. So we had a lot of the local musicians on the show as well. So I also worked on Red Tie Live. So I would help in the background, like kind of share it around on social media. So met a lot of cool people through there as well.
Excellent. And Maddie.
Hello, I'm Maddie. I moved to Winnipeg like 8 years ago with the intentions of leaving after a year, but I found the local music scene. I grew up in rural Alberta. We didn't have anything like this, and it just really captivated me, and I've been here this long. Go to shows as often as I can. Recently, last year, I was invited to join the Manitoba Loud Music Awards, which has been really awesome to kind of be more involved with it, opposed to just a fan. I'm hoping to get more involved with other things in the upcoming years.
Excellent. So I guess kind of the first things first here. I just wanted to talk about the venues of the city. I'll be honest with you. I am probably the newest of everyone on here to kind of discover the music scene here in Winnipeg. I did grow up outside the city, but that's no excuse because I've been here for 20 years. However, I didn't get really involved in the music scene until realistically about last year, maybe, where I really started to do the Northern Royals and stuff like that. There's been known them for a long time, but I've really started meeting people since doing the podcast and then having my own band. Been playing for the last a couple months, whatever it's been. So let's talk about some of the venues. Would you guys just tell me about some of the places you guys like to go to?
I think Park Theater would be a big one for a lot of people, right, Jen?
Yeah, Park Theater is definitely a big one. I think that right now the most popular one is Tap House. They do have music going on almost, I think, pretty much every day, actually, or something, regarding music.
Yeah, always a great crowd, too. Lots of people there always.
Yeah, definitely. For me personally, I'm going to Times Change tonight for open mic blues night. It's a great venue, great people. It's a great atmosphere. There's tons of venues here that are pretty cool. I work at two myself. I work at the Pyramid and at the Royal Albert, which is pretty good too.
Yeah, absolutely. The Albert has such a unique vibe to it.
Yeah,
Obviously,
it's like going to
we were
time.
just we were just there recently, and that's actually both of you were there as well that night.
Yeah, that was
yeah,
a good night.
it's an interesting one, isn't it? Cupcake and Maddie, how about yourselves? Places you guys like to head out to?
They mentioned some of them too. There's also like Bulldogs, and there's just even like some local bars and stuff. Exchange Event Center.
I haven't been to that one. Where's that one located?
It's on Princess.
Ah,
Used to be Moz.
okay. I saw
I think they just.
saw
Sorry,
some
I
bands.
think Sebastian Bach was just there.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there was someone who was just there. I think they played with the Bloodshots, who were obviously Selkirk band. Can I call them Selkirk band? I think I can. I think I'm gonna.
They're from Selkirk, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't too sure. I didn't know if they were from Lockport or Selkirk. You know, it's like the Doc Walker thing. They're actually from Westburn, but they keep getting hailed from Portage, and I think it gets annoying to them. But and Maddie, how about yourself? I know I have you on my friends list, and I saw you're at Bulldog there. So obviously that's one of the places you go.
Bulldogs is like my second home. I know all the people who work there. They're lovely. I've been going there since they were like the pizza place originally. I live in like central area. I used to live in the Village a lot. So yeah, Tap House I'd go to. The Handsome Daughter does really good shows. I love how close that venue is. The Goodwill was shut down, but they just opened Public Domain, which is by the same people apparently. I haven't been there yet, but I'm excited to check it out. It's like right next door. Then I think those are the main like four that I go to.
Awesome, good to hear they have something going in the Goodwill. The Goodwill was my me personally. That was my first experience of like getting a green room and stuff, and I played a couple shows there every 3 months for like a year or whatever. But really didn't get to know anyone in the scene. It was more of just helping a friend and I'd go there and get in the green room and there's like Robin's Donuts or something. I'm like, wow, this is what it's like, eh?
Living it up.
Yeah, living it up. However, I did meet. I don't know if you guys have heard of this band, but they will always stick out to me. There was a band that I met there called Virgo Rising, and I think it was one of their first shows they played. And it was 3 young girls, and they absolutely blew me away. And they actually had a song, and I couldn't believe I was listening to the song and the lyrics. I was like, what is she saying? The one girl was talking, one was singing. I couldn't figure out what the girl talking was saying, but she was just reciting a muffin recipe. And it's always stood out to me as this band that was like, wow, it was so different. And then now I see they got 16,000 listeners on Spotify every month or something. But and they're playing a bunch of shows. I saw they have a thing, a poster up at Side Stage. But just one of those undiscovered bands for myself that ran into and just a surprise. And I think what kind of leads us to the next thing here is going out and seeing some of these bands. Another one that I'll mention myself is Fox and Sound. They played with my band at the Tap House, and every member of that band is just incredible. The drummer, he plays in other bands, and he's so talented. And then this their guitarist Carlton Hart was doing things on guitar that I never really have seen happen before. It was so cool. And the vocalist, forget her name. I think it's Emily Hanna. I don't know.
Yeah,
but anyway,
that's her name.
Yeah, just an incredible, like raspy voice is just fantastic. So, which kind of leads me to the next thing. Who are some bands out there that you guys girls are into?
A lot. There's a lot.
Yeah, it seems like every time you go see one, you end up seeing another. Like I know that's how I discovered the Haleys was seeing with the Northern Royals. They opened up for them and played an amazing show with the Handsome Daughter a few years back. That been a fan ever since, definitely.
Yeah, I would say that there's too much to even count, but I mean, at the top of my head, I would say definitely Ash and the Arsonists, Northern Royals, Exo Merida. Bloodshots are amazing. Orvis Thomas, Spectre. You know, there's so many.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Avenue 46 just came back and played the Tap House on Friday.
Oh yeah.
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 I wish I was there.
Sleepless was there too. Yeah, me too. I was at the Handsome Daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jen, I've seen Jen in action at shows here with her studio work at Studio 23, and she recently saw a band I'm wearing right now, 5 More Miles. She recently saw them. I hate these reverse cameras, but anyway, wearing a 5 More Miles shirt. That's a band that's they've been together a long time, and I feel they're owed their dues now, and they're getting out to some shows and coming up on a couple shows that I'm doing, and yeah, just another one of those bands, southern rock band, but another band out there. And Cupcake and Maddie, how about yourselves? I know nothing of you, so I don't know what music style you're into.
Well,
Definitely more I'm into the punk and metal scenes. With a lot of bands, a lot too many to list, but some new ones. Emily Hanna has a punk band called Juiced Orange, but that's not how you pronounce it. It's French. I just don't know how to say it. They're really good, and she has a fucking amazing energy. Some other punk bands, Suburban Hypocrites was probably my favorite since the beginning. I used to live in Selkirk. They came and played a show at the Merch, and that's kind of what drew me to Winnipeg and the music scene here. And then for metal, like Death Tax, which mean there's just so many.
Did you say Death Tax?
Yes, they're like kind of like punky metal. I don't know.
The
lead singer is in like 7 other bands or something.
And is that the guy? He's part of the Back Alley Beer group?
Yes, Trapped.
Okay. I see these things through like podcasting stuff. I start seeing other ones out there, and ran into that one. And then you follow. The thing about Winnipeg is if you follow the rabbit hole, you learn a lot about people you don't even know, right?
A lot of connections.
Oh, big time. Yeah, it's always interesting when you open Facebook and you have a bunch of musicians on there, and somehow they're all connecting, or someone adds you. Someone added me the other day, and we had 81 mutual friends. I'm like, how? And then I start looking through it. It's like, oh, okay, this makes sense.
Winnipeg is really special like that, in the sense that it is like the music scene anyway. It is such a tight-knit community that it doesn't matter if it's metal, country, heavy rock, indie. Everyone seems to know each other and just have that connection and just supports each other a lot. That's really nice to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's some good promoters out there as well. That one guy I really wish I could have had him on here tonight was Riley Saunders. I think he's in Mexico or something right now. So, but he would have been a good one to have on here. I always feel, for me, when I started kind of seeing some of the local bands, just kind of live at the Roslyn, when he was doing that, it introduced me to some people. One standout, Ronnie Ladderbrook and the Electric. I remember seeing them, and I got Ronnie coming on the show in January. I'm looking forward to that because he's kind of taking a hiatus from music, and I'm just so excited to have him do something again. And you see him. I don't know if any of you are friends with him online, but he's always playing guitar. He's got his daughter playing guitar, playing something, and just a genuine person. Really looking forward to having him on there. So, but yeah, Riley Saunders, he does a lot of promotions. Obviously, Maddie and. Well, all of you, I'm sure, no Dag with doing Badlands and everything in the Loud Awards, and it's just a mass promotion, and I had a little bit of a run with some bands that were involved in Loud Awards. I had great Ramskull I absolutely love, and it's a different style of music for me, but I absolutely love it. There's some bands that were involved in Loud Awards. I had Spectre on here a couple weeks ago. Spectre, I've never heard the name or the the word Spectre so much until I was at the Loud Awards in September, I think it was. They were up for everything, so
Yeah.
good to see. But I think he's done a great job with things, and I know there's been a lot of promotions throughout Manitoba, and I know his talk about Dag here, just his contributions, and um, I believe it was Spectre that was on the show talking about him and saying he took off to Lethbridge for a day and came back, and he's just so dedicated to it. And obviously, Maddie, you're involved with them, and Ruth, who isn't here tonight, she's involved with them doing some stuff, and it's great to see just that support through the community.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. Like it seems like you just keep touring with different, or not touring, I guess, but doing shows with different bands, and you get different combinations. Like the Northern Royals and Seventh String just did a show at the Pyramid. That was a really good show, and you just kind of see you get the Seventh String crowd, you get the Northern Royals crowd, and yeah, it seems like it feeds off each other really well.
Yeah, for sure, right?
Mhm.
And that you're right. That's something you see a lot too is bands mixing. There's one show, I'm not trying to self promote myself, but my band is playing Bulldog in January, and I'm playing with there's 4 bands. One is Pure Entry, who I absolutely love, who are quite involved with the shows that we do. But we're also playing with 2 bands, On the Fly and Orders from No One, which
My
I had
brother-in-law's in that one.
Orders from No One.
Yeah.
Really?
Joel. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's not going to confuse anyone. But but that's going to be an interesting show. I haven't been to Bulldog since one of you mentioned the pizza. I remember I actually picked up pizza, and to get to the pizza, I walked through a crowd of like a show, and I thought, wow, this place is pretty cool. And then I went to I think it was, now correct me if I'm wrong, Scam Jam. I went to one. It was like in a bay. It was like downstairs or something, or I don't know. There was a half pipe in there. People were skateboarding, and it was just such a cool thing to see. And there were some cool bands there. Couldn't tell you who they were, but it was just such a cool thing to see back then.
I stupidly thought that Bulldogs was that pizza place and just like the stage there. So whenever people were like, "Yeah, we're playing at Bulldogs," I'm like, "Oh, okay, like the pizza place." And they're like, "No, next door." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And then I finally got the chance this about a year ago to actually go into Bulldogs like event center, and I was blown away. It's the stage is huge, and
Yeah.
everyone's really friendly there, and yeah, it's a really good vibe there. Lots of things going on there too.
I've heard such good things about the stage, the sound, the lighting, the people there. Just a great place, and it's so nice to have places like that in the city, right? And I know for myself, I'm really looking forward to playing there with 2 heavier bands, heavier than we are, and people are going to love us or hate us that night because I don't think they're going to expect us after those 2 bands. So, but you know what? It's good to see, and another venue I'll bring up. I'm not sure if I know Jen, you were there, but Side Stage, another venue that is super cool, and we almost needed something like that. It's not a huge venue, but the load-in area is great. Green rooms for bands who do the green room thing. It's fantastic. The sound is good. They treat you so good there, and they're wise to their time as well. There's obviously venues out there, and there's things that happen. Bands go on later and later and later, but when it's a Thursday night, you kind of want to get that thing wrapped up a bit. So, but they're good like that. So that's another venue that just kind of want to show it out. Side Stage, obviously partners with the Park Theater. I think it's the same owner.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, no, just a cool place. Started seeing some people chime in there. There's Ronnie Ladderbrook. Yeah, love that guy. Can't wait to have him on. Caleb, he's part of Distodius. If you know Distodius, they were actually on here the other night, and what a solid person. Just a great person. Great band as well. Is Sky the booker there? Or?
Who else? Question.
The booker where?
Is she at Bulldog?
Yeah, she I think her and her father own it,
Oh,
the
okay.
event center. Yeah, so she does a lot of the bookings.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw that comment come up when you were talking about Bulldogs. So I assumed she was involved in that. How about the we talk about the scene and Cupcake. I'm going to kind of direct this one at you. Just with your two baked girls.
Yeah.
Um, you had some guests on there. I know you had Evan from the Northern Royals on there.
Yes.
You had Ramskull. What's
Yeah. Keegan.
Keegan?
Yeah.
Keegan Porter. You had Keegan on there as well. Was that kind of your? I don't know the history of your show, but was that your intention? Was to get involved in the music scene?
Like we just anybody that smoked weed was welcome on our show.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, like even people that didn't smoke weed actually like we had a couple of people on that didn't partake at all. So or partake in like different ways, right? So yeah, just kind of I think like working with Red Tie Live, then I met more people and then kind of branched off a little bit. So we had kind of opened up our guest book.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Jen, obviously, it's no secret if you follow you or Jody or Ash and the Arsonist, you were currently working on Ash and the Arsonist, their next album.
Yeah, we are. We're working on their second EP album. We are almost done. We have one session left. It's been an incredible experience. It's been super fun. I'm really excited for you guys to hear it. It's gonna blow you guys away, really.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Very excited to hear that.
It's so good. I already have two of their songs that's like already my favorite, and I can't even say anything about it, but
Awesome. Thomas, here's just kind of a random question. How many shows do you think you go to a year?
A year, I have no idea.
It seems that you're always
It's
out
at
and about.
least once or two a month, so I have to say at least 24, 25. But that even sounds like a low number to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the
You're
tap
you're
house
always out
alone,
and about.
it's all walking distance for me. I can get to the tap house easy. I can get to the pyramid easy. So
Excellent.
yeah,
Yeah, you're I'm yet to kind of go out to a show with you, but you're always out and about. People know who you are. You walk into a place and you seem to have people gravitate towards you. So you know your people out there.
yeah. Just through numbers, you just go to enough shows. You
Yeah,
need enough.
exactly right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
Maddie, what? So you're involved with the? Sorry, my mic's being weird. Maddie, you're involved with the Loud Award group there. How did you get involved in that? And so, what do you do with them?
So I was one of the previous members approached me. They were starting up a line of shows with the Sober Family Alliance. I am sober, so they wanted to bring me on and help me organize these shows. Also, because I have like know some bands and like I'd be able to pull them in. I don't know, friends with some people. They thought that I could help get interest in that. So that's originally why I was brought on, but the Sober Family Alliance unfortunately is no longer existing. So we can't do those shows. Now I just kind of like help plan the awards, go to the fundraising events and like help set up and do like the door or help sell merch, whatever. Yeah, just like a lot of meetings and like just getting ready for the awards throughout the year. We vote on like the vet. We have like a website that like does all the voting and stuff. We have to like look through that. And, yeah, just a lot of meetings and talking and like just getting ready for shit all year.
Awesome,
They're
awesome.
a really good team to work with. They're all like really awesome people.
They seem so dedicated, and I know that the community really appreciates things, and I went to the Loud Awards. That was my first one. Obviously, I went to, and it's funny with the group there. I thought I know a bunch of music people. I'm gonna go there, talk to some people, and that's with my previous group with the Boneyard, and they wanted me to go and talk to some people and talk to bands and stuff. I thought, oh, I know a lot of these people. I walked in there, I knew no one, and it really stood out, and it was a good thing. I'm very glad I went, and I didn't know people. I obviously saw Keegan because I just had him on the show, and then there's a couple other bands that I recognized there. But it was so cool to go there and see that because I thought, wow, just when you think the Winnipeg music scene is big, it just gets bigger, right? And and then there's more people that I got coming on the show here that just expanded again, and it's just there's so much undiscovered in Winnipeg, whether you want to discover it or not. So it's just such a cool thing. And another venue I was gonna bring up just with the Royal Albert. Jen, you briefed on that you work there, but it's such an iconic venue, and when you go in there, you see some posters and stuff up there. You see the Green Day one, and obviously Green Day was on that stage. Billy Talent, I believe, was on there. Some 41,
Yeah.
just some cool bands that such an iconic place, and I wasn't sure what we were getting into when we went there, but it's just such an iconic venue, and you go around the city and you go to some of these venues and you see it. It's like Thomas, I know you were at one the other night. You were at the Handsome Daughter, which was mentioned earlier, and you saw Texas King there.
Yeah, I did an amazing show.
Yeah, and there's some good venues that are. What's that?
Sorry, I was just gonna say that's another place. Always a good vibe at the Handsome Daughter. It's a small venue, but always good shows and really good sound. Actually, surprisingly, the sound on Friday was really good.
For sure, right? It's just there's been some bands that have passed through and they're playing these venues, and it kind of makes you feel pretty cool to be able to see some of these bands in a smaller venue. You go see shows at the MTS Center or the concert hall. Concert hall pricing is what it is, but the MTS Center, like, you can hardly walk in there without $150, right?
Yeah.
It's just, it gets a little pricey. So to have the scene we do in Winnipeg and be able to go somewhere and buy a ticket for a show for $10, and if you want to have a beer, you can usually get like a special somewhere, and you could go there with $30 in a night and you'd be fine, right? Such a cool vibe to have in our small city that has just such a good music scene. And I would like to venture out to see. I think, Maddie, you said you were from Alberta. What's the scene out there? I had a band on that was from Saskatchewan, and their scene was different than ours. It seemed like it was a little bit smaller in a sense that it was really short on genres, right? It was you're either a country band or you're an alt band, and that's kind of all it was.
Yeah, when I was living there, the scene was pretty small. There wasn't a lot of bands going on. There's like very few local shows. So that's why it was such a big shock coming out here and finding out that there was local shows like every weekend, a couple of them like at different venues and stuff. But now I still have a lot of friends out there out in Calgary, and the scene is like once again flourishing for like metal and punk and everything. It's like they have some good bands coming out of there. I'm not too sure about other genres, but I know metal and punk is thriving.
Well, that's good. It's good. So is there kind of go around the clock here again, but is there anyone you're looking forward to? Is there any events you're looking forward to going out to? Guess we'll start with you, Thomas.
Well, not even one that's already decided, but I'd like to get another guitar night going if we could at the Tap House. That was a great one with Ronnie and Ash and the Arsonists, and I think there was a few other bands there. I'm trying to think now who else played guitar night.
I'm sure Ronnie will chime in right away on that one. So
yeah, there was at least one more, but yeah, that was an amazing one. But yeah, lots. Distodius has a show coming up in February, I believe. Obviously, Valley Narrow's got a big show coming up around that time as well. So
the same night, I
was going to say it.
2 album release parties the same night. At least they're only they're not too far from each other. So if you're absolutely adventurous, you could buy 2 tickets and bounce back and forth. But a Distodius show is great.
The album release shows are always some of the best shows as well. Always find.
Yeah, for sure. Jen, you got probably a different perspective of what you're looking forward to because you kind of know the inner workings of some, but
yeah. Well, for me, I am going to Ash and the Arsonists on the 8th, and there's a lot of other bands that are going to be there as well. at the Marion, and I believe it's a Christmas kind of fundraiser that they're doing. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it's definitely like an all day kind of thing. Maybe don't quote me on this. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's from like maybe mid-afternoon till late. There's a good 10 bands playing, I believe. So that should be pretty interesting. And I know that there is a Rush tribute show coming up soon. That one sounds interesting.
And that's the Robots of Rush. Is that what it's?
Yes, it's Moontan and Plus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a band I miss. Moontan was a great one.
Moontan's amazing, absolutely.
Yeah. I know also, I think Omens is playing again soon at the Royal Albert.
Yes.
Island.
I was on my phone trying to figure out, I was like, there's a really good show happening at my work and I don't remember who's playing, but I'm looking forward to that one too. I'm going to be asking my boss to book me that night 100%.
Yeah, that'll be good. I think it's a Friday, so.
Yeah.
Jen, you mentioned the Christmas thing. I believe it's Holly Davidson is involved in that.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah.
I spoke with her the other day because I am donating some stuff for my work, and that seems like a really cool. Sorry, I was trying to find it here. That seems like a really cool event. There's a lot of people involved in that.
Lots of bands.
You said, there's a bunch of bands there. That's great. Someone is keeping a poll on what they've raised so far, but it's just so cool. It's just one of those other community supported music events that it just goes so far.
Yeah,
definitely. Holly puts a lot of work into that too. Holly's a great one.
She's amazing
for sure.
Yeah, she is.
Cupcake, what about you? Anything coming up you're looking forward to?
Well, at Festival, there's an old band that used to play at Shannon's when I worked there, and it was called the Velvet Pill. So it's like Jay Williams and E from Hello Fiasco and stuff like that. So a bunch of those guys, they are reuniting and they're playing at the festival on February 15th. So me and an old friend that used to work there with me, we're going to kind of like, it's going to be a big reunion. Shannon's reunion. So really excited about that.
That's awesome. And thank you for bringing up Festival. It would have slipped my mind, but that's another event. Some great bands that come out for that, and always a good time. And cold as shit, but don't leave the tent. You'll never get back in.
Exactly.
How about yourself, Maddie?
Nothing really comes to mind. I'm pretty bad at remembering dates, and like I'm in my busy season at work, so basically I just, after whenever I get off my shift, I just go through all the venues and look at their events and see if anything's going on that night. It's kind of how I decide where I'm going. There's a lot of touring bands coming around over the next few months, so I have a lot of tickets to those, but in terms of locals, I just kind of like go with the flow.
Awesome. And there's so much local. Was it?
Oh, absolutely.
Was it Friday? What night was Texas King?
Texas King was Friday. Yeah, it was Texas
It was Friday.
King.
That Friday night, there was a ton of shows all over the place.
Yeah.
And I had full intention on going to one of them, and then my dog decided that he needed to go to the vet for a overnight stay, and it kind of derailed my weekend. There's a comment in there. I'm gonna put this guy out there right now. Considering how popular music is these days, it's absolutely amazing. There's a strong rock metal scene in Winnipeg. There's also a fiddle scene out there. This is Desmond Legacy, the fiddle. They got 3 albums coming at you. If you want a copy of any of these fiddle albums, I tell you where to get them.
That reminds me, the Dust Rhinos are playing too. That's another really good.
Yes.
They're playing January 3rd
at Side Stage. And
yeah,
I feel I got played that night because when I played Side Stage, the bass player from the Dust Rhinos is from my hometown. And he showed up there and he was talking about the venue. And then the next day they announced the show. And I thought, he knew the whole time he was playing there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that'll be a good one. Energetic band. I believe they're doing their whole new album in the full, which is a fantastic album. And I think the Dust Rhinos they might have been the first band I had on this. I don't know. I'm so confused between this and the Boneyard. I don't know which shows were which on. We're on.
I'm on the cover of their CD.
Are you?
Yeah, my legs are.
Nice.
It's the Up Your Kilt.
Oh, that's a great
cool.
album.
They did
Great
that at
album.
Shannon's. They were all on the bar like this, looking up our skirts.
Cupcake, if you look through my history on this show, you'll see. God, I feel it was this one. Might have been the other one. But anyway, I should send you the video of them. They actually sat in this room with me and we did our
I
podcast.
love those guys.
And it was
they're great.
Blair and Dan were in here, and they're just such great people and just full of life. And then even after we went off live, we sat down here for 45 minutes. And then we went upstairs and we talked to my wife upstairs for a while, and they're just so full of energy, and that's another band that's been around forever too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They played at Shannon, 2 bars that I worked at.
Absolutely, and they do the big sociable. And sorry, I'm just reading this message here. Oh yeah. There's boxes of these fiddle CDs. they're interesting, but it's my father-in-law. We got to push these CDs. He's making a comeback. So awesome. Well, you know what? It was great. This is night 1 of fan night, where there's going to be other ones along the way. I love talking to the bands. But what I love when I'm talking to bands, and I've said this a million times on this show, is when people start chatting, people start chiming in and talking, and there's a couple of people that actually didn't come on tonight, which I'm surprised I thought would be there. But it's always interesting hearing people talk about it and talk about all the music in the city, and you know, especially the undiscovered stuff, and where you may not know of one band and you go to a show. And we talked about this. You go to a show and this band is playing with this band, and then you discover that band. And I'm just gonna kind of say on my end, seeing Fox and Sound, those guys, all of a sudden, Carlton Hart's in there, Emily Hanna, if I said that right, I keep forgetting her name. I think that's right. And then Gareth McNichol Briggs, he's in there on drums. And then I had a conversation with him that night, and all of a sudden he's in Heart Sleeve. And then there's a Alexis on Fire tribute band, and then I'm gonna mess it up, but Juiced Orange. I saw they played the Scam Jam or whatever. But just you know, you start seeing, oh, this person's in this band, and that person knows this person in this band, and it's such a huge community, and I absolutely love it. I got some more shows lined up. I got 5 more lined up. One's a cover band, Suburban Funk Machine. They're coming on. A band I know really nothing about, Shit Happens. They're coming on as well. Should be good. And then obviously Empass and Retrograde, who, if you haven't seen them, you gotta see an Empass show. They just released a Christmas song, and it's unbelievable. I can't get enough of those guys. Ronnie Ladderbrook's coming on as well. So make sure, if you can, tune in, check them out, and let's just keep the Winnipeg music scene alive and keep it going and meet new people and see what's out there, right?
Absolutely.
That's what it's about.
Absolutely. Well, it's good having you on. Obviously, this is night 1 of fan night. We have another one coming up in a couple months, I believe, but I think it's going to be every month, every couple months. We'll kind of just sit down and talk with the fans, see what's going on, see what they're excited to go to. Obviously, when you have bands on, they promote themselves a lot. They do promote the other bands as well, but it's always good to hear from the fans and hear what they want to hear and what's going on out there. So it's a great group of people to have on tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, we'll talk later. Thank you.
Good
Have a
night.
good night, guys.
Okay.